Scene 8.
What ho, ye members of the court! Desert thy good deserts, and hear me now, and cease thy idle talk to ope thy ears.
What means thou, cook, with this most base and rude disruption of our feast? Lay hold of him!
Whoe'er approaches me shall wallop be with this great pan for sauces, and thy blood shall serve as sauce upon the floor. I'll speak, I warrant, ere the eve is out, I'll speak.
Take hold of him, I say! What pause is this? Shalt single chef intimidate my soldiers now?
I am for the cook, and shall defend his speech, and thus procure the stomach of ungrateful men, such stomachs as we know to be so sated by this cook, thus valid recompense for acts to silence him.
My king, my lord and king, thou know'st me not, but years on end hast life of mine and of ancestors mine found means to serve the blood of this great royal family. Decades, nay, centuries have passed ere blood of mine was not e'er present in thy kitchen down below, so serving for thy lineage and court. But now, oh, now injustices do pass inside these walls that thou dost not have knowledge of, despite the royalty of thy divinity. Thy blood hast wronged my family, horrendously misused my daughter here, and this good sailor from beyond the sea. That boy, that fiend that thou wouldst call a son, and soon a king, has much abused the practice of my work, and each and every instance he returneth to our home of Denmark, he finds means to so torment me thus, with theft and pillage of my labor, aided by those vagabond hyenas of his pack, Sir Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, who lack maturity that young small boys but half their age possess.
I will now speak, cook, ere thou doth proceed. Despite if what thou claims is verified, there be no claim amounted with enough such boldness for disruption of my feast. What sayest thou may spring from previous humiliation, for remembrance none, for cake thou was so charged to here provide.
A cake that was devoured by devil there! But this is not the end of tale mine. This sailor here, Iago be his name, was but this morn most horribly abused. His countenance so damaged by these boys, these ruffians thou would prefer to cause destruction in this world than aid a hand of healing or of welcome to their home.
I can attest to claims of this wronged man, and to the wrongness done to me. A cake I saw in shelf but yesternight, and this good cook's small kitchen, and he did begrief the acts of Hamlet there, despite the gap of stations that do lie betwixt the two.
'Tis not enough, I say. I am the king, not thee or petty grievances against my son. Disgraceful cook, ungrateful man. I will not hear more words within these ears that are compiled with sordid claims. I'll have thy heads for this, and I'll not mourn the death of fools.
My daughter, Lord! My daughter here! He hath found means to steal from me. This daughter mine that I did cherish ere the world doth end. This daughter that I love within such times as when her mother passed, and though she looks of her, her eyes, her lips, her cheeks do e'er remind me of lost love of mine, my dear companion of this earth, the wife that God in heaven graciously bestowed on me, and spite me with when he so robbed my life by the purloining of my wife. Now so again has she been lost to me, when this false prince, this knavish Lucifer that roams our castle with his lust and pride, as base as Hades turning on his brother Zeus, or Pluto stealing seasons from Persephone, or Satan cursing Job and all mankind, did rob the purity from daughter mine, and so shall ne'er attain a husband's nor position in this land, but is now cursed to roam and wander aimlessly throughout her life. So thus do I intrude upon thy feast. So thus do I demand some justice now. So thus do I so wave my pan above my head and cry for remedy from gods or kings or men who may find pity in an elderly worn soul the likes of me.
Can this be so? Young maid, find means to cease thy tears. Hast father thine transgressed into some madness here? Or doth he speak the truth? Speak, girl, I will know all in matter this.
Alas, my lord, my king, he speaks the truth.
It cannot be so. It must be a man that doth appear in likeness to my son, who bears his countenance and shape, his face, perhaps even the voice of him. Tell me this be the case, my girl. That man who did abuse thy bed was man so similar to Hamlet there, not son of mine at all.
My lord, I saw his face. We spoke at length. I swear on mother's mind that's past, he be the man.
My son, whom honors I have gave of late, I cannot value accusations these, till from thine own two lips I hear admittance to these crimes. Be there a semblance of some truth in them? I beg thee, say but nay, and I'll remove these heads and hearts that do accuse thee now. Speak, son. My heart cannot contain this fear I have not felt since facing Fortinbras and wars of past.
They speak the truth, dear father. I have wronged them all, in manners they describe to thee. No less was done by me.
Prithee, leave us, men and women of the court. I must discuss these matters with my son alone. Stay, family, as this concerns us all. I wait to hear, to hope, for righteous cause, for reasons just, to now defend thyself and crimes thou hast committed, gainst such men and women who do not but work for thee. Speak, son, ere heart of mine doth break.
No reason can I give to thee, nor cause of any semblance, for what's just or what thou deems as honorable for kingdom thine. Such reasons that are rooted in excess of aimless time, of boredom vast, yea, spite, a spite for thee. These are what move me to indulge in whims and lusts and cruelty.
And lacketh thou all shame? No drop of shame, embarrassment, nor of regret. No shame doth colour temperament of thine. Thy brow remains unfurrowed, and thy voice is calm, as if thou hast described the clouds or temperature. Thou speaks of spite for me? What spite? What spite doth thou possess for me that causes thee to practice cruelty upon my serfs?
The spite that any son will have so cursed upon his head with parents of such ill regard and character. My countenance is calm because I have foreseen this day at length, and thus found means to so prepare myself. And this that day, the day that I have long awaited for since I was a boy, the day that I could have the two of both thine ears and eyes fixated on myself, with no division of attention thine, no more distracted by the present wars and wars long past. This day has come. It took but only some odd decades for this day's arrival now.
I know thee not. I know this man who stands before me not at all, who eats my food, who drinks my wine, who sleeps in castle mine, who so abuses servants mine that they must break all laws of dignity to tell me of thy crimes. Thou art not Hamlet, son of mine, nor any man that I have bred. What acts have I abused thee with, that earns this hatred, detestation, and such base defilement of thy position as a prince of Denmark, and my son?
If I so number the times that thou hast forced myself and company of mine to hear of thy unwitnessed valor against thy foe, so commonly renowned as Fortinbras, 'twould baffle all the mathematicians mine in Wittenberg, who grasp what Euclid has to teach without bewilderment, if I was so compelled by some fair maid to make attempt to accurately summarize the qualities of thee. I would require a list be made in order of extremes, nay, in order of the alphabet, to so appropriately organize what things this list contains, where sections marked with such headings as perchance be acrid, bent, contemptible, discourteous, and on with egotistical, fool, garish, hack, and an impotent joke, to list but few.
My heart doth break. 1,000 wounds do fly across my heart to know that I am responsible for all behaviors of the man before me now. No man at all. An impudent, ungrateful, spoiled child and devious performer, who has led me to believe for all past years since birth of thee that I instilled mine honor and some righteous dignity into thy soul. My heart, my queen, my heart, it aches of loss.
Awaiteth I now eagerly for when broke hearts do truly end the lives of men, not for some crown upon thy head, but for the riddance of a father who finds care for all the people of the realm except the flesh and blood of his own family, his son and wife who wait their turn to speak with such misused patience and humility.
O Gertrude, wife, have I made weary ears of thine with stories of my deeds in wars? Shall legacy of mine be summarized as king who talks of nothing but his past?
My king, 'tis pleasure mine to hear of thee and know of thee. My ears shall haply receive new knowledge of thy life at all such times thou cares to so relate to me.
A goodly wife that will find courage yet to flame her husband's pride, despite the cost to her own patience and endurance of her ear upon thy age. O mother mine, thou shalt regret indulging him, even to the point of solace in his death, when thou shalt find new men who are so able to not only talk, but also hear of thee and of thy wars.
I will not tolerate this arrogance. I have withstood the slings and arrows of thy spite, but when thou strikes a woman with thy words, the woman that gave birth to thee, I will suppress it down into the ground beneath my boot, regardless of my own inequities and culpabilities. I hereby now renege thy crown and all inheritance, with witnesses of thy own family to know the reason of such drastic acts. Return to Wittenberg tonight to make a man of thee, since I, thy father, hast so failed thee, to guide thy soul and character into a proper man. We must now pray and hope that teachers that reside in Wittenberg are braver and of more intelligence than this old king. Do not speak. And if I see thee in these halls ere dawn comes, banishment shall be reward for deeds thou hast committed in my home. My bones and soul are weary of these wars. where none such sort of victory can be achieved, nor e'en defeat, nor any end. Long rest. Rest be the only cure for us old souls. A rest not even undisturbed by bells' great tolls.